Joanne, and it's just, I mean, it's a bit like, I would say, like when I look at it, it's almost the great comeback story. And it's just so cool to see, you and I were talking just a couple of days ago, and the progress and what's happened in your business in the last 6 months has just been exciting. It's so cool because you and I, I think about it. We show up every morning, we're seeing each other on Breakfast Club, and that's been happening for months. And it's like these high fives, and we always encourage people, hey, share the win. And you're like, I'm winning and I'm doing
I'm
this.
winning.
I know it. And we
I'm
were talking,
here. I'm
I,
here.
I, I got one. I got one. I got to win. And you were telling me just a couple of days ago, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this is the comeback story. It's like you've been doing business, you've had great months and great years, and then what happens is, last year was a challenge for a lot of people, everybody. We were
Yeah.
talking in January. This is like everyone's a day one loan officer. We're all rebuilding, and you started plugging away. I don't know. You were telling me it's like 3 or 4 units in January, February, March. Then April hit, and you did 7. And
Yeah.
May
And
hit, you
yep, we did 7 in May.
yeah,
And then we're projected to have 13 in June, which is
in June.
amazing. It's amazing. I have an amazing team. I kept, when I was on Loan Officer Breakfast Club before I joined MMA, I kept hearing you say, day one loan officer, day one loan officer. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Like, what is that? Like, I've been
What's
doing
a
this for
day one?
26 years, and sometimes you're thinking to yourself, I've been doing this for 26 years. What can I learn? Like, what can I learn from this group of guys? Like, Crazy Frank in the morning and Carl and you and your
Yeah.
scripts. Like, what could I learn? And I can't even believe what I've learned in the last February 15th. So I'm just about February, March, April, May, June, right? Just about a little over 90 days.
Wow. Hey, I
And
didn't realize it was in February. So literally the
February
day
15th.
after Valentine's Day, you decide, hey, and I love that you said that too, because, I think about how many people have been in the business 5, 10, 15, 20 years. There's really no discrimination. It's not like, hey, the veterans are thriving and the newbies are not, or the newbies are thriving and the veterans are not. It's really, what it boils down to. And I think you're such great proof of this, as well as it's like, no, whoever's prospecting and has a
Yep.
process to prospecting is winning.
I do want to share this very important part because you and I had talked the other day, and I kind of thought, how did I get from where I was in February to here?
Hey, and what
But
did you close
but
in February? Wasn't it like 3, 4 loans? Like, do you remember?
February was 3 loans,
3 loans.
right?
So
Three
three
loans.
loans
So like
February to
barely enough
June
to pay
13.
my staff, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah,
that and so and this is and I think that this is important because more importantly than what I did on February 15th was what happened prior to that, right? How did I get there?
tell me that.
Right. So I was sitting there and I had 4 loans in my pipeline, and I'm
Yeah,
sitting here and I'm like, number one, I'm too old to learn something new. I've been doing this for too long. I'm on the other side of it, right? Too old to learn something new. Scrolling Facebook. We all know that's not getting us business, right? It's not getting us business. And then I thought to myself, and this really came up, is like, I'm not being a good leader. I'm not being a
mm,
good leader to my staff,
mm,
to my team. And I have an amazing team that
yeah,
they're my cheerleaders, right? And
yeah,
then I said, I need to do something. I had been following Loan Officer Breakfast Club, and I said, had to have a conversation with my husband, right? Been married 40 years. Got to have that conversation before you spend money. Keeping in mind, Steve, I had not paid myself in January or February because I had to make sure I had, you know, the funds to cover everything, right? So it
yeah.
was a big step. I had to really believe in myself. And I do feel like there may be some, loan officers out there that might be in the same position. And it's like, you have to take a chance on yourself. More importantly, though, you got to put in the work. You got to be
Mm,
determined. You got to be
yeah,
consistent, right?
yeah.
That's what makes it happen. The consistency and the plan.
Hey, so it goes back to, hey, when your back's against a wall, and I know that's not like a real cool thing, but I tell you this, sometimes I do my best work. Yeah, my wife. So in high five, 40 years of marriage. What? Steph and I have been married 22 years, and one of the things we both told each other was this: there'll never be a way out, only a way through. And that's something that I've really leaned into in our work, in our business as well. It's like, look, this is a calling. It's not a job. I don't, it's not a 9 to 5 and I got to, like, I'm called to make a difference in the lives and the families we serve in the mortgage industry. So when you come from a stance of there's no way out, only a way through, what I hear you say is in February, 2 months, you've not been paid. You got a staff that's depending on you, your back's against the wall. There's a resolve that says, I'm making a decision today and I'll do whatever it takes. Hey, Joanne, this came up yesterday, and I think this is because I want you to talk about this. Like, I remember there was a season I was trying to get into working out, and it was like I just needed to get physical. And I'll never forget this. Um, I made a commitment for 1 year to go to a 5 a.m. workout class, which meant I had to get up at 4:30, be at the gym at 4:50, and be there at 5. And you know what's interesting? I think back on that for 1 year, 5 days a week, I would not miss. It's whatever it takes. Um, and you know what I think about this, Joanne? I was talking to my wife yesterday about it. I said, you know what really the difference is in things like that, or what you made in your business, is that I don't wake up every day and decide, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to Call Stars. Oh my gosh, I'm going to prospect. Oh my gosh, I'm going to lead in. The decision was already made.
Yeah.
You already made a
Yep.
decision. So you know what all we're doing is now I'm just nurturing that decision and getting into a flow that helps me stay accountable in a cool way. Because look, there were days and there are days you wake up and it's like, no, I don't want to work out. No, I don't want to prospect. Even though
Right.
it's what we do, I don't want to. But the linchpin, and that's what I'm hearing from you, is you already made your decision. It's like something's got to change. I'm doing this. And now we just, all we're doing is nurturing our decision. We're just showing up and saying, feelings, you got to go. The decision's already made. So I'm showing
Well,
up
and
good, bad,
also,
or ugly.
right. And also, you're on Facebook or you're listening to other industry people, right?
Yeah.
Other brokers, realtors. Oh, the market sucks. And, I have no business and negative, 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 right? And you're like,
Mm,
wait a minute. I can't be part of that statistic of people who are not in this business anymore. I have way too many people that depend on me.
mm,
My team here, like there's a lot of people that depend on me. Like sometimes you gotta have a, come to Jesus moment with yourself and be like, you need to do this. And then, when you pay that money, you're committed. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
like my husband and I had the conversation. He's like, listen, I will support you as he always has, but you need to be committed. Like if you're going to
Mm,
be committed and, I make a promise to him and to my team. And now here we are adding a loan assistant, right?
wow. Yeah.
We have a processor, we have a loan assistant. They're excited about it. We had a meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
It's all gonna come together on Monday.
Yeah.
And my job is to be on Call Stars, be on Loan Officer Breakfast Club, right?
Yeah.
Be the example to some people out there, other loan officers, like, guys, we can do this. Like, we can do this.
I
And
love
I'm
it.
like, we
You're an
have to be our
inspiration.
own cheerleader.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because,
Hey, we say it like this all the time, and you hear it all the time. Leaders lead. You know what? You're allowed to have one bad day, a couple of bad days, but you can't have like three or four. You go sulk, lick your wounds, and get up and lead. Hey, tell me about this. So February, you make a decision. What did you do first? Like what? Because look, you have to realize you went from three, and then in April and May you popped to seven, but you didn't go from 7 to 10. You almost doubled again in
yeah.
June to 13. And that's the kind of accelerated growth we see, because what happens is the activity consistently over time accelerates the result. But it doesn't go like, it's not very like you go from 3 to 6 to 8 to 12 to 15. It's usually 3, 4, 5, 6, and you double. I mean, it's just what we normally see. So
And,
tell us about the activity. Where'd you start? What'd you do?
uh, the first thing I did was I called and talked to Kristen, right? Had that meeting. Then, she was like, let me know. I'll send you this. I got to
Yeah,
have a conversation with my husband. Did that, right? Okay, we're doing this. February 16th, that was it. I was on Loan
it
Officer
was
Breakfast
D-Day.
Club. It
Yeah.
was D-Day. I was on I went onto the website, which is amazing. There's
Mm.
so much information. It's worth its weight in gold. There's so many there's just so much information. And the wonderful part is if you feel like you have to be online and you have to look at things or listen to things, like don't go on Facebook. Go on something positive,
Yeah.
that's gonna excel you, that's gonna educate you, and like I'm 58, again, doing this 26 years. I have learned so much. So I just started making calls. I started listening to a couple of the people on Loan Officer Breakfast Club. I'm not going to call anybody out, but they know who they are. They've been texting me, side texting me, and it's like a family. So
Yeah.
now you were saying, you wake up committed to go into the gym.
Yeah.
I wake up and I go, oh, it's Monday. I'm calling my agent. Oh,
Yeah.
I get Tuesday. It's, update day. That's my favorite day.
Yeah.
But also Wednesday's kind of my favorite day too, because I get to have really good conversations. So
With
I
your
just
database.
stayed,
Yeah.
yes, I just stayed committed, and I
Yeah.
continued to make the calls.
Yeah.
Um, if I have time for a quick story about the one that I walked into, and she was
Do
like,
it, girl.
so I was afraid to call, not afraid, I don't know if afraid, call reluctance, right? Everybody has it. So I made a commitment one day. I'm calling this agent, period. I'm
Yeah.
calling her.
Yeah.
And she's an agent that's in my town, not far from my office. I could probably throw a rock to her office. And I had just never called her. Called her and I said, hey, I used the script and I asked her for coffee, and she said, well, we're not drinking coffee because it's Lent and we're going, we gave up coffee for Lent, but can you be happy to come to my office and meet some of my agents? I'm like, oh my God. And of course I'm thinking to myself, wow, this stuff really works, right?
Yeah.
Go to her office. First thing she says to me, oh, hi, Joanne. What took you so long to come here?
Uh,
What took you so long to call me? You're doing business with other people in town, but not me. And I didn't really have a response except for, well, I'm here now and I'd love to get to know you, right? And frogged her, right? In and out, 30 minutes, got to know them. We found out we had a couple of mutual people in common,
yeah.
and I've gotten 3 referrals from her.
Wow.
Nothing closed yet, but that's okay. I'm on her radar now, which I wasn't
Hmm.
before, right?
Hmm.
Because some agents, we all know this,
Yeah.
agents like to be, you know, what's the word? Uh, courted, if you would,
Yeah.
right? They like to think that they're important.
They are. Well, 100%.
They
Well, and
are.
100%. And who doesn't like to be pursued? It's like,
Right.
I want a little pursuit in this. Hey, and you know what I was thinking just a minute ago? Okay, you got 13 funding this month. You're seeing great growth. You're doing the work, but you live in a big town, right? Like you're probably in California, like, or in
Yeah.
Houston, Texas, like where there's 5 million people, right?
No, I live in little New England, a little town called Wallingford. It's just a little, I want to say it's not, I mean, little, but it's not a city and it's New England. So,
Yeah.
we have our ups and downs with the weather, right? But excuse me, no, it's not a big town. I like to think I'm everywhere. I do get involved in the community, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that that's an important aspect, which Carl talks about all the time. Little league, adult softball, you
Sure.
know, I'm not on any, bus benches like Carl did, but I learned from his mistakes. But no, it's just, we're in the kind of climate right now. Where are we? June 18th or wherever we are. No, we're not, 13th. Um, where, we had 7 offers that went out on Sunday, people
Yeah.
making offers. Well, we've heard from 6, none of them got accepted. None of them
Yeah.
got, because multiple offer situations, strong
That's right.
offers, but so
That's
it's a
right.
tough market. We're fighting for every deal from the beginning to end, but
Yeah.
it's worth the fight. But
That's it.
I'm able to stay consistent in my calls while my team is doing what they need to do and get them closed. So
Hey, and I love that because you don't want somebody to say, "Oh, but you're in a big area." Yeah, you got a lot of inventory. Everybody's fighting the same fight. It's
yeah,
rates, it's inventory, it's the qualified agents that were qualified are no longer qualified. And we talked about it this morning on Breakfast Club. I love what Owen was talking about. Like we can't control the rates. I can't control the Fed. I can't control inflation. I can't control inventory. I can't control which agents have it. The only activity we can't control is what I'm willing to do. So I can make my outbound calls. I can build new authentic relationships. I can schedule coffee appointments. I can go to those coffee appointments. I can follow up for 12 weeks. And you know what? Low inventory, so what? I just go get more. Hey, rates are high,
yeah,
so what? I just go get more. And it's
and
like instead of being a victim, and that's what I see in you, it's like, We're not victims. We're literally going to take control of our outcomes by putting more input in. I can't
Yeah.
control outcomes, but I can control the input, how I show up every day. And you know what I love about this too, Joanne, is that what I'm hearing you say too is you've got a process. When you wake up on Monday, it's not like, hey, because this is the way I used to operate, and I think all of us did. It's like, man, I know I got to go do something, but what am I doing? I know I need to make calls, but how many do I need to make? I know I
Yeah.
need to reach out to agents, but which agents? What do I say when I meet them and reach, you know? So when you take all that away, it's like all I got to do today is execute. And guess what?
Yeah.
I only got to execute from 7:30 to 4:30 and I'm done for the day. You know, it's
Yeah.
like and I'm winning.
And the community too. When
Oh
I
yeah.
first
Oh,
started, I
oh.
was like, wait a minute, did I join a cult? Or is this my new family now? Because I mean, honestly, you show up on Loan Officer Breakfast Club,
Yeah.
everybody's your cheerleader, and we need that. I
Yeah.
do think that if you've been in the business and you've lived through 2008, you might be built a little differently, right? Because we've seen
Oh, I
so
think
much.
we are. Yes,
Yeah,
we are.
and we're like, okay, if you didn't take me down in 2008, 2000, and
We
wherever we
got you
are,
22,
2024,
3, and 4.
you're not taking me out. I'm in for it. But yeah, the community of Loan Officer Breakfast Club, like,
Yeah.
and Qual Stars, it's the best. You can ask any questions that you have, and everybody is willing to help.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah.
willing to help. So
Oh, I
great
love it.
community. Yeah. And
Hey,
you're
and when
right.
you
You
said
wake up. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go for it. You go ahead.
I was just going to say, you wake up and you have a plan every day. Like,
Every day.
it's almost like, it's almost so simple that it's
It can't be this
like
simple.
it can't be this simple, but it is.
It
And it
is. It
works,
is. Yeah.
so
Well, we tend, we're also smart and we've got great ideas and we got big personalities and we think we got to complicate it. I was literally this morning, a friend of mine who's a loan officer, he literally texted me. He said, okay, I'm tired of trying to tweak all the scripts and make them mine. I realize if I'll just do the simple script, that's where the results are at. If I'll like, because he's so smart, he's like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. He literally texted me this morning and he said, okay, hold on. I was looking for it. What do you say? He said, oh man, he said, brother, okay, I decided to let go and submit to the MMA process,
yes,
specifically the scripts. He said, I've been trying it on my own and he's so smart. I'm like, brother, lean in. Just like we got thousands of people that have proven over and over again, they just work. And it's a
right.
math game. So
And when you look at the cost for MMA for 90 days, I think
yeah,
that's what I think it's 90 days or 6 months, whatever it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's one deal.
Oh
I
yeah.
got
Oh
that
yeah.
one deal
Yeah.
within the first 10 calls in my database. And
Mm,
this lady said to me, I would have never reached out to my database. Stupid,
mm.
right? But I would have never done it. I reached out to her. She said, thank God you called me. I need help so bad. And
Wow.
that one deal closed, took care of what I like. To me, after that, I was like, that proved
It's
it
a
right
profit
there.
center. Oh
And
yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't, I hate, like, you can't just be on Loan Officer Breakfast Club, although it's amazing and everybody should be on it. It's so much deeper than that. It's
Oh,
so
that's
much
good.
deeper than that. There's so much more behind the curtain, if you would, that
Oh yeah.
it's worth it. Like, and I'm not like, I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting
No,
paid to say
yeah.
this. I'm just saying, like, as a loan officer, an experienced loan officer, we all should be doing this for sure.
I lo- Hey, and one thing you said, you got on the phone with Kristen, and I love that. We did an episode 349. Carl and I just did it. So after you listen to this, go back and listen to episode 349. It's called I Don't Think We Ever Talked About This. And we went into literally just 1 week of what the membership provides. And we genuinely, Carl and I were like, oh, we never talked about like there is so much value that it will. I mean, it's such an investment that is an asset that just returns over and over again. Hey, and if you're doing this, go to freedomplanningcall.com, freedomplanningcall.com. You say, hey, I'm hearing Joanne's success. I'm hearing what you're saying. I need to make a change. And whether you're new or seasoned, freedomplanningcall.com, book a time. You like put 3 or 4 pieces of information. Myself, Kristen, Carl, one of us will jump on a call, walk you through it. See if it's for you, because what I appreciate about you, Joanne, and we talk about this a lot. Spike the ball. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I don't want to brag on the results," or like, I was in my 8-week boot camps, and we have these group chats, and I'm like, all right, guys, spike the ball, share the win. And you'll hear people say, well, I don't want to feel braggadocious, or I'm bragging, but what I challenge people like you, what you're doing is every time you say, hey, look, January, I was at 3, I'm at 13. If I can do it, you can do it. There's an inspiration to your story, because so many people are looking for not only hope, but the ability to say, look, I know I'm called to this industry. I know I'm called to this business. I want to make a difference, but I'm at a point, my back's against a wall. And I
Yeah.
love your story because and it doesn't take 3 years to do 13 loans. That'll transform your finances, girl.
Yeah.
13
It's real. I mean, it's
in four
real.
months,
Yeah,
4 months.
it's real, and it's real results. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had to put in the work, right?
You're
I
doing the
had to
work.
protect
Yep.
that 9:30 to 11:30 time frame. I let everybody know, my husband, my 92-year-old mother, my kids, my
Yeah.
grandkids, my team.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. I need to be on. And there have definitely been times that, things will come up, right? You
Yeah.
have to, you just have to take care of family, right? So, but you have to protect that time. It works when you put in the work and you're committed
I
and
love it.
determined.
I
Determined is
love it.
my word. And just real quick, you had
Give us
done
some
a
closing thoughts. Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, my closing thought. You had done a podcast of I think it was, you're going to do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't feel like it, you have to do it anyway. You have
Mhm.
to do it anyway,
Mhm.
or go get another one. Just go
That's
get
right.
another one. And
That's
I've
right.
listened to those. I've listened to the Sparks. I forget what Frank called it before he called it the Spark. But if you saw my desk, which you can't really see, my laptop, I have I have determined, I have go get more, do it anyway, and
Mm.
I have don't stop, right? And what's the other one? Oh, good vibes, right?
Yeah, I love
Gotta
it.
have, you can't, and we're in sales, guys. You can't walk around like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. You can't. You're not going to be successful.
That's not
That's
gonna
my
help you.
closing thought.
I
That's my
love it.
closing thought.
Hey, we're so proud of you. And I know Carl
Thank you.
and Frank and the whole team, we're just so proud of you. You're doing great work. You're an inspiration. Keep leading the way. And so, Joanne Johansen, just doing an amazing job in this industry. So grateful to be on the journey. Hey, and just be inspired. You're listening today and you say, man, this is the shot in the arm that I need. Take action. People think, Joanne, and this is something that we're watching. People think when I believe I can do it, I'll do it. Or when I have the confidence, I'll do it. No, no, no. We make a decision, and then all we have to do is steward that decision. And then the more action we take, the more confident we get. The more action we take, the more we believe. The more action we take, the better we get. The more action we take, the more results we get. It all starts with a decision and action. And so if you're listening, go to freedomplanningcall.com. We would be delighted to walk you through the plan that Joanne's executing, and so many others. I was listening today, how many people were in single digits or in double digits? Like, I'm just like, I'd look at Yawande, and I look at like, Sarah and Kenneth and Nate, and I'm like, all of these people, because they're following a plan. And if
Following a
they can
plan.
do it, you can do it. It's not the market, it's not the condition, it's not rates, it's not inventory, it's action. And so
Just get started.
freedomplanningcall.com. Yeah, just get started. Anything you want to say that, I'll let you say it today, but
No,
go
no,
to,
you say it.
hey, go to freedomplanningcall.com. We'll jump on a call with you, show you what's on the inside. I'm confident it'll help you in your business. So, Joanne, take us out. What's the phrase?
Oh my gosh. Anything is worth doing badly. Just get started.
See ya.